Hey, welcome back everyone, happy May the 4th, and ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans have been very curious about the future of the Star Wars franchise and exactly how both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are really going to handle the future of Star Wars in order to make it as best as possible. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, in case you guys did not know, as of right now, we do know that Lucasfilm is getting a major facelift by Bob Iger and Chapek in order to really give the fans a better vision for Star Wars. And that's exactly what they want to do. They really want to regain the lost fans from, of course, the sequel trilogy that they were very upset with, myself included. I really had a lot of issues with The Last Jedi. In fact, it's probably, in my opinion, the worst Star Wars film out of the entire Skywalker saga, even more so than The Phantom Menace. That's just my take on things. However, for me, The Rise of Skywalker was entertaining. It had a lot of problems, and I wouldn't say it was a great Star Wars film, but it was an emotional roller coaster for me. There was a lot of scenes that I loved and really hated in the movie. Now, on top of all of this, a lot of fans have been very curious about the new Star Wars trilogy, or the new series of movies by Disney and Lucasfilm that they are actually going to be developing in the near future. In fact, they're already working on them as we speak, but of course, principal photography is going to be the main thing in 2021. Now, when we look at what, of course, StarWars.com was able to provide today, we got big news about the writers of the new Star Wars movies for at least one new Star Wars film. And what's really intriguing about all of this is, of course, specifically what writers Disney and Lucasfilm chose for, of course, one of the new movies for the new series of Star Wars films of this new Star Wars universe. Now, on top of all of this, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are currently focused on their new Star Wars universe, as well as the new Star Wars trilogy of films. Now, it's explained that both Bob Iger and Chapek are hard at work on developing the new Star Wars films that will bring fans into a new mythology. It's explained that Taika Waititi will co-write and direct one of the upcoming Star Wars films for the new mythology, while Krysty will write the new Star Wars films alongside him. Taika Waititi was involved with The Mandalorian Season 1, and Krysty Wilson wrote the film 1917, which she was an Oscar nominee for that film. The new Star Wars films are aimed to become darker than the sequel trilogy, with a brand new tone in the mix for Star Wars, and that these films are set to honor George Lucas's vision for Star Wars, and that they will even use many of his original concepts that were never used for the old expanded universe. Now, Lucasfilm is still undecided in, of course, which films Krysty and Taika Waititi will work on, since they have 3 films scheduled for 2022, 24, and 26, and that Lucasfilm is trying to still figure out which film of the 3 that they will actually write for Star Wars. This is said to be the reason as to why the release date for the film for these 2 writers is still unannounced at Lucasfilm, as they are actually still trying to figure out the roadmap of Star Wars and which director and writers will be attached to those specific projects for the new Star Wars universe. Kevin Feige is said to have a role as a producer for at least some of the projects and will be used as a creator for the backbone of the new universe. So, Taika Waititi and Krysty Wilson, I think that this is a great decision. The thing that makes me more excited is Krysty Wilson. I don't know if you guys saw 1917, but I really do believe it was a very well put together film. It really was captivating. I think it really attracted a lot of people to go ahead and see it because of the action that was in there, how well the actors acted in the movie, and how much, it really was, I guess you could say, pretty much pertaining to history, and how it really kind of just had that wide-scale feel to it. And you can see how they wanted somebody who was an Oscar nominee, who is a really good writer. Krysty Wilson really does fit the bill for Star Wars, at least in my point of view. Taika Waititi, he was involved with The Mandalorian Season 1, so that seems promising. Now, we're not quite sure on whether or not they are going to be attached to the 2022 film, the 2024 movie, or the 2026 Star Wars movie. it's still very possible that Disney and Lucasfilm are going to announce more movies that are going to be pretty much in between those 3 Star Wars movies that are already set for release. So, like I've said before, Bob Iger stated this before in the past, that the roadmap of Star Wars was not complete. It's very possible that we could very well be getting a 2023 film, a 2025 movie, and maybe even perhaps a 2027 film. There's a very big possibility of that the 3 Star Wars movies that are already announced is not the actual complete roadmap. We're going to have movies in between that. That's a big possibility, that Star Wars wants to jump back into a movie releasing every single year again. Do I think it's the best decision to do that? I'm not quite sure. You know, in my opinion, there's no such thing as oversaturation of Star Wars or a frequency issue as long as the movies are very well put together. And this, to me, I think is a great start. Absolutely great start. I think that Taika Waititi and Krysty Wilson are a really good fit for Star Wars. So with that being said, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.